reserve my right to speak later.
The question is that the motion be agreed to, and I call the member for, I've forgotten, Dawson.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'm pleased to have the opportunity to acknowledge and recognise all those who have defended our great nation at home and overseas. It is because of their service, sacrifice and bravery that we experience freedom and peace in Australia today. Thank you to the member for Solomon, Mr Luke Gosling, for bringing this very important motion to the House. We should never take for granted our lucky country because it came at a cost. Today, I join with my parliamentary colleagues to recognise those who served in the land, air and sea conflicts as part of the battle for Australia, which successfully subsided the threat to our country during the Second World War. We have enjoyed sovereign peace for a long time in our nation. In 1942, Australian forces dug deep in Kokoda to stop the Japanese advance. The English had been defeated in Singapore, the Americans had lost the Philippines, but the first country to turn the Japanese back was the Australians in Papua New Guinea. It's not just full-time divisions, but people who were walking the streets of Sydney one day and the next day fighting the Japanese on the Kokoda Trail. If Australia had lost and the Japanese had advanced onto our mainland, the Australia we know today would be entirely different. The rights and liberties we enjoy today would be horrifically different. So we remember the soldiers, the airmen, sailors, nurses, doctors, and others who served, and in many instances were maimed or died for the protection of our great nation, Australia. Deputy Speaker, war comes at an immediate cost, but there's also a greater hidden cost that takes a significant toll in the years that follow. Families that have been left without loved ones. This is a grief beyond measure. So today I pay my respects to the family who has lost loved ones and to those who have supported the loved ones who have served. The toll is great on our veterans. Many returned servicemen and women come home with significant trauma, experiences that stay with them for a lifetime. It is crucial that we don't abandon our veterans at this time. People who have been good enough to put their body on the line, to put their life on the line for this country, deserve our complete support when they return home. And so do their families. As a nation, we must prioritise the well-being of our veterans and give priority investment into their support services. The prevalence of PTSD and suicide amongst serving and ex-serving Defence personnel members is something of deep concern to both sides of this House. When in government, the Coalition invested a record amount for our veterans. This is a legacy that I'm extremely proud of. We make it easier for veterans to make claims by establishing online digital access, and we funded additional staff to help deal with the backlog. The Coalition Government committed $5 million in my electorate of Dawson to fund a Veterans Wellness Hub. This would have brought an RSL to Mackay, a wellness centre to Mackay Memorial Pool Complex and a retreat at Kitchen Dam. I was disappointed that in Labor's first government budget, Veterans Wellness Hubs north of Brisbane were canned. Centres like this are a fantastic initiative and will make a big difference in the lives of those who can access their services. Investing in the supportive services for our veterans is too important to be a chopping block. These cuts are devastating. However, I will work with the government to see that these services are fully supported and provide the much-needed services that our veterans need, no matter what their postcode is. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mr Ken Higgins, President of the Mackay RSL, for the support he provides to the veterans and for his strong advocacy on this project. Also, Keith Payne, VC, you could talk forever about Keith Payne, for his work on the Kitchen Dam retreat. Our community is stronger because of local champions like these guys. The protection and sovereignty of our nation is paramount. We must take every effort to support our defence personnel past and present. We are indebted to them forever. Thank you for your sacrifice. We will be there for you.